Elden Ring, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Ninja Blade, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3. What do all of these games have in common? Not only are they critical acclaim masterpieces, but one of these games are not like the others. For years, people have been scouring the internet searching for a now delisted piece of media that back in 2009 took the world by storm, half a year before Demon's Souls. You see, FromSoftware had a major decision to make by delisting this game. I know you may be thinking it would damage their brand, but it would have done quite the opposite. You see, the amount of skill and finesse needed to play Ninja Blade from start to finish is magnitudes greater than that of any Souls game. You need cat-like reflexes to manage the waves of enemies they throw at you. You need the speed of Sonic to traverse through buildings in which every step may be your last. Most of all, you need the precision of a laser to cut through every QuickTime event like it's do or die. Heck, what other games out there lets you ride missiles and stop a commercial airplane with 2 pieces of string? The amount of stress put on the human mind to clear each stage with not only efficiency but with style is something many people cannot deal with. Watch this segment of Ninja Blade and tell me if you can do it as perfect as I did. As the thoughts crossed FromSoftware's mind after their release of Ninja Blade and Demon's Souls later that year, they realized a key issue with the game. It is simply just too fast. After dropping years to bring Ninja Blade to fruition, its complex style of combat would not be brought out by the average gamer. So instead, they decided to release Demon's Souls, a game much slower in movement, combat, story, basically Ninja Blade but in permanent slow motion and no ninjas. I loaded up Elden Ring today after sharpening the blade that is my soul in the actual Ninja Blade and felt like the game was now in slow motion. Ninja Blade's crisp visuals and perfect combat just brings me back to a time in which games were more than button mashers. It was an experience you couldn't get from watching a movie or cheating in a game of Uno to impress your middle school crush. Mastering Tadome, for example, is an experience unlike any other. To be able to consecutively execute each QuickTime event for every animation in a sequence takes another level of discipline. I want you to watch and see the amount of focus and precision used in every kill that is perfectly crafted to take Ninja Blade to the next level.
This. Come on!
Another big thing that all the games in the Souls series lack is rail shooters. Ninja Blade introduces this mechanic early on during the game and challenges the player's patience, as these segments just last far too long. While the combat in Ninja Blade is fluid, I will say the story on the other hand left things to be desired. It focuses on Ken Agawa, Dad, and Kuro, who is his rival. By the end of the first mission, Ken is left for dead as his father and Kuro suddenly turn into villains. The game focuses on Ken trying to save Tokyo from alpha worms that mutate any host they attach to, while he also tries to track down Kuro and Dad. It is a quite simple and linear story that unfortunately fails to deliver. It lacks any punch as the main characters in the game are void of any personality. This is not to say the voice acting is terrible, but more so that the characters themselves are one-dimensional. All jokes aside, Ninja Blade is not that bad of a game, minus the story. Sure, the QuickTime events are excessive, but they are not punishing. The gameplay loop is basic, but still acceptable. Movement at times due to weird level choices can be frustrating, but outside of that, it too was okay. From Software may want to bury Ninja Blade's existence into the depths, but currently Ninja Blade, just like their other titles, will continue to live on. But the important takeaway from Ninja Blade is the lessons learned from it and how this game helped to shape the company many of us know today. Just like any other product out there, one must experiment and find out what works and what does not. 10 years later, with the wealth of knowledge they gained along the way, comes Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. Naturally, these are two different games, but looking back at Ninja Blade and the Dark Souls series, it shows the influence of both. While Ninja Blade may never receive a sequel, as teased in the ending sequence of the game, it served as an important stepping stone in producing the games that we as a players experience today. So Ninja Blade, I do thank you for your existence. Well, that's the end of that one, folks. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, as I always have some more interesting things on the way, and I don't think you want to miss those either. Also, if there's a game you're interested in hearing my thoughts on, leave them in the comments below.